Hey everyone, Mrs. Spatola here. These are the answers for last night's homework. Hope everybody had a good evening, and let's take a look. Pause the video, check your answers, go through everything. And if you had some trouble with number 14, that was a bit of a challenge. If there are any problems or any challenges that you had with any of the problems, please make sure you reach out and ask, and I'll be happy to go over it with you. Let's take a look at today's lesson, which is going to be combining like terms. Unit 6, Lesson 2, Combining Like Terms. How can we combine like terms? Looking at the do now, what are like terms? Yesterday we were introduced to like terms and we talked about how like terms are those that have the same variable to the same exponent or with the same exponent. So let's get that down. Like terms are the same variable with the same exponent. Now take a minute to go over problems number 1 and 2. You're going to look at the expression that's given. So for number 1, you're going to look at the expression 8x plus 2x plus 5, and then you're going to fill in the table. For each one, you're going to look at and identify the variables, the coefficients, the constants, and the number of terms. Do that for each one. For number 1, 8x plus 2x plus 5, and number 2, 5p plus 6 plus 4. Complete the table, stop the video now, and pause and fill in the table, and when you start it up, you can check your work. And there are the responses that you should have for the table. Let's take a look and see how we can actually combine like terms. Moving on down. Rules. To combine like terms, 1, use shapes to determine like term families. 2, add the coefficients of the like terms together. And 3, bring the variables along. So if we look over to the left, it says place a shape on the like terms. Use a different shape for each variable family. So at the beginning, this might not seem too challenging, but then what happens is the more terms you have in each problem, the more you have to identify each one, and it becomes more of a challenge when you have a lot more variables. Number 1, let's start here. Always a good place to start. Number 1. So number 1 is 13b, so we'll use a circle. I always like to start with a circle, plus 2b. Alrighty, so they're the same variable, so I just combine. I add 13 plus 2. I wind up with 15. What is the variable? I'm going to bring it along. The variable is b, and I am done. Now, take a look at number 2. 8a plus, now b is different, so I'm going to make that a square or a rectangle. 8a plus 5b. When the shapes are different, you cannot combine. So sometimes your terms are already combined the best they can be. When you add or subtract, make a star over here. When you add or subtract, you cannot combine anymore. You cannot, write this down, you cannot combine when variables are different. Let's write that down. You cannot combine when variables are different. Please write that down in your notes. I'll be looking for it in your workbook tomorrow. You cannot combine when variables are different. Okay? You cannot combine. You cannot add or subtract when the variables are different. You can, on the other hand, multiply and divide, but we'll talk about that at a later time. But for now, when we're combining like terms, when the variables are different, you're done. So the answer to number 2, ready? What would that be then? It's simply 8a plus 5b. It's already done for you. Let's look at number 3. 9m minus 4m. What do you think? Good, 5m. You can combine the like terms if the terms, now when I say the terms, the variables are the same. If they are the same variable to the same power, they are like terms and you can combine them. If they are different variables, or even if they were the same variables to a different power or with a different exponent, you cannot combine them. Number 4, 2x plus 4 plus 3x. I notice I have an x and an x, so now I can combine. Now, when you're combining, it always should be, ready for this, it should be in alphabetical order with the variables, and the constant goes last. Let's make a little note here. Constant goes at the end or comes last. So constant goes at the end. Okay, constant goes at the end of your expression. So that's another important tidbit. So a couple of important tidbits here. We wind up, let's go back to number 4, 2x plus 4 plus 3x. Turns out to be 5x plus 4. Number 5, 8a plus 5a plus 9 minus 1. All right, I see that I have a here, and then I have 2 constants. So I can combine the a's. So 8a plus 5a, 13a, plus 9 minus 1, 8. And I'm done. Good job. Hope you understood and hope you did well. Now let's go on to the next page. Combine like terms in each expression. So you will do right now, try these on your own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try those on your own. Stop the video. Use the shapes. So for example, number 1, I'm going to use the shapes. And another thing that I forgot to mention earlier is when you are circling the shapes, how do you know when to add or subtract? So this is really important. So watch what I do. 3x, I circle that. Now this is, and the 6x has a plus. You take the symbol, and let's write that down. Take or circle the symbol, circle symbol to the left. It's always good to know your directions when you're doing math. Take or circle the symbol to the left of your term, to the left of term. Write that down. That's very important because we're not always going to be, when we combine like terms, we're not always going to technically be adding. We might be adding or subtracting. So in this case, let's go to number 1. 3x plus 6x. Notice I circled the plus 6. So I know it's 3 plus 6 equals 9x. Alrighty, try numbers 2 through 6 on your own. There are the answers for numbers 1 through 6. Now, I'd like to bring to your attention, in a problem like number 5, notice that we have an x, but there's no coefficient in numbers 5 and in number 6. So what happens is, when there is no coefficient, automatically we agree that the coefficient is 1. So don't forget to include that when you're combining your like terms. So for number 5, it really is 5x plus 1x. That's how I got the 6x. So please make sure when you just see an x all by itself, so lonely, that you put a 1 next to it so it doesn't feel left out. Look at number 6. Number 6 is the same way. 3x plus 2 plus x. So we want to put a 1 in front of it. So now we have 3x plus 1x, and that's how we got 4x. Let's take a look at number 7. For number 7, I have 9x plus, and now I'm going to include the plus sign in front of there. So I have 9x plus 2x, and then I see the 2 y's. I'm going to put a box around those. I tend to go with the circles and the squares of the boxes first. And then you can combine the terms with the like shapes. So that's another way you can do it. Do you have to do it? No, you don't have to do it, but it's highly recommended because those boys and girls that just rush through it tend to overlook some of the variables, and that's how you can get things wrong. We always try to teach you these little tidbits, these little tricks to help you. The important thing is with math, take your time, don't rush, because if you're impulsive and go, oh yeah, that's it, oh yeah, that's it, sometimes it doesn't work in your favor. Number 7, 9x plus 2x equals 11x plus, then I have 4y plus 3y, 7y. Try numbers 8, 9, and 10 on your own. Stop the video. There are the answers for the remaining. So there's 8, 9, and 10. Hope you did well with those. Take a look real quick at number 10. Number 10 is our first experience. You can't really see it because I circled. Is our first experience with some subtraction signs. Also, when you have, some boys and girls ask, when you have a situation where it's just the variable by itself, like in this case here, can we put a 1 in front of it? The answer is absolutely. So your final answer for number 10 is 4x plus 1y, or you can just simply put 4x plus y. Either one of them are acceptable. Okay. So next thing you're going to do is you're going to complete, you have classwork, you're going to complete the practice, combining like terms, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 on this page. Those I will check in class tomorrow. Now let's see what you have for homework. Tonight's homework is to complete the next page and try your best. Now, when you're looking at these, some of these are more challenging. You've been practicing throughout this lesson. So questions like number 9 are going to be a little more challenging. It doesn't mean do it. It means try a little bit harder. Then we have, moving down, we have some more practice. You are expected to try your best and complete the rest of the problems. Are these pair of expressions equivalent? And then here at the bottom, you're going to combine the like terms in each expression. And there you have it. So that's it for today. I hope you did well combining like terms, getting ready for 7th grade every day. This is Mrs. Spatola wishing you a great day, and remember, always be kind.